Are you wondering if Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is actually the best moderate resort at Walt Disney World? Today, we'll tour everything from the lobby to the rooms, pools, transportation. That way, you can decide if it's worth your vacation budget. All right, let's head in. So once you enter, you'll have a large, expansive lobby. You'll also have a nice seating area here, just in case you have to wait during your check-in process or just want to lift your feet a little bit after a long day of travel. You'll have the Center Town Market here as well. This is one of my favorite quick service on Disney property. It has mobile ordering, grab and go, as well as allergy friendly options. And with the Caribbean influence, you find a lot of flavor with their dishes. One of Walt Disney World's underrated restaurants is also here. That is Sebastian's Bistro, which is a family style restaurant that serves Caribbean inspired dishes. As we walk out of the lobby, we hit Fuentes del Moro Pool, which will have two water slides, a zero entry pool, a splash zone, two hot tubs, and tons of activities throughout the day. Directly next to the main pool will be Banana Cabana, which is where you can find your frozen drinks, cocktails, and just a place to go if you need to get away from the pool for a few. So now let's walk around a little bit and discuss the property kind of just overall. So Caribbean Beach is spread across 5 different villages. So you have Martinique, which will be closest to Disney's Riviera Resort, and Old Port Royal. When you kind of pass the lobby, that's when you hit Barbados and then Trinidad. So Trinidad is definitely pretty far out there. I personally wouldn't suggest that building, but you are pretty close to the Skyliner with that. And there are internal buses that go around the resort. So on the opposite side of the 45-acre lake, you will have Aruba, which sits directly across from Martinique, closest to Disney's Riviera Resort and the Riviera Resort Skyliner station. So if you're going to stay in the Aruba buildings, you're best off taking the Riviera Resort Skyliner versus walking to the Caribbean Beach Resort. Next up, you have Jamaica, which will sit right next to Aruba, but also super close to the Skyliner station for Caribbean Beach Resort, which happens to also be the Skyliner hub. So when you're taking the Skyliner from Caribbean Beach, you basically have a direct shot to Epcot and Hollywood Studios without having to stop and get off at another resort, which is super convenient. Definitely one of the selling points of this resort overall. I know I had already mentioned the internal shuttle. That will stop all around the resort. So if you're having mobility issues or your feet are just tired from being at the parks, you can take that to get around. I personally do love the walk because this resort is just so beautiful. If you don't happen to be going to Hollywood Studios or Epcot, you will be taking the bus to Disney Springs, Magic Kingdom, and Animal Kingdom. As we head over to Caribbean Cay, you will see Disney's Riviera Resort over there in the distance. Definitely stop over there during your stay and get a bombolini at their cafe. It is absolutely fantastic. Powdered sugar donut with Nutella filling. It's so good. And their lavender lemonade is also phenomenal. So as we cross this bridge here, which basically connects like your Aruba, Jamaica villages to your Old Port Royal and remaining 3 villages, you'll have Caribbean Cay, which has a playground for your littles. And then it also has these really cute little like gazebo areas where you can just sit, relax, put your feet up, read a book, and just kind of get away from all the busyness that can be around Disney World sometimes. I just love walking over here because the scenery at this resort is just absolutely stunning. And as you go through, over here on the left is where you'll see the play area for the children. Just something kind of get some energy out. And it's a perfect location no matter what village you're staying in because it's just right in the middle of everything. And for the times when you're not in the parks, they do have plenty of other activities. They'll do movie nights, campfires. Obviously, they have the playground, and you'll even get some magical character visits along the way as well. And now we've kind of done a little bit of a full circle here where we were back at Old Port Royale, but this would be from the opposite direction. This here is Sebastian's Bistro. This is a family style restaurant which has Caribbean inspired food. I'm going to do a little menu peek here. Feel free to pause it. And just know menus, of course, can change at any time. Get you a better look here. And then we have in the distance, obviously Riviera Resort. You see the Skyliner on the left there. Where that lighthouse is right there, that's actually a little kind of like mini golf putt-putt area. And then to our right, you have a beach area overlooking Barefoot Cay. That's where you'll have hammocks, lounge chairs, little area to relax. And up ahead, we're actually walking towards one of the other individual pool areas. So besides the main pool that has the water slides, banana cabana, that whole like main area that I showed you earlier, these smaller pools are scattered throughout the resorts so that if you are in one of the smaller villages, you still have a nice pool close by where you don't have to take a long walk to go relax. And now let's do a room tour. This is our room, which is a preferred location room. This one does have the 5th sleeper option, which I will pull this down and show it to you during the tour. But the 3 different room types at this resort will be standard, preferred, and king bed. King bed means that you are just guaranteeing that you are going to have 1 king bed in your room, whereas the standard or preferred rooms will have either 2 queens or 2 queens and 1 child size pull down, which is what pulls down to the left here. These are super convenient for families, so their child does have a separate space to sleep in. If you do have like a 2 and under that you need a pack and play for, I can definitely request that for you. And if for some reason I'm not your travel agent should be requesting that for you. See how easy that just goes up and down. So right past that, you'll have a little coffee area, like coffee, tea. You have an ice bucket, and there are like ice refill stations throughout the villages. You will also have a little like beverage fridge underneath that. And here, pretty standard closet space. It does have an ironing board, iron, safe to keep all of your valuables in. Your room will come stocked with some body lotion, bath soap, hand soap, shampoo, condition, and body wash in the shower as well, which I am also going to head in and show you. I love how the getting ready space is big enough for a family while still keeping the restroom shower portion separate. So someone can be, getting ready for their park day, jumping in the shower, while someone else is getting dressed, doing their hair, and, getting ready in the other area. A great storage solution they have is leaving enough space underneath the beds to store your luggage. So once you are all unpacked, just pop your empty luggage under there and it will be out of the way, leaving plenty of room for you and your family to relax after a park day. And here is that beverage fridge I was talking about, just to kind of close out this room tour before we head over to transportation options. From Caribbean Beach, you have the option to take the bus, which is where we're walking over to now, one of the multiple bus stops at this resort. So you'll be able to take the buses to Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Disney Springs, and the water parks. The buses do come pretty frequently, and you'll see this is labeled Jamaica because that is the one closest to our village. But there is a bus stop at each village, including the main lobby. If you get thirsty, they do have some vending machines as well. When you are taking the bus, just know that you do have to fold up your stroller. So as a little time-saving tip, just so you're not sweating trying to do it last minute, get those strollers all packaged up before that bus arrives, just to make your load in a whole lot easier. You'll also see the bus transportation times on the screen always being updated. If you're in your room wondering when the next bus is coming, you can also see that information where your hotel reservation information is. When you scroll down, you'll be able to see a little button that says bus times, and that will also give you the most up-to-date bus arrivals to each park, just so you know before heading out from your room. You will always board to the front door of the bus because guests with disabilities will load first in the rear of the bus. And now let's head over from our room over to the other transportation option, which is going to be the Skyliner, my personal favorite. Just a note, when you are loading the Skyliner, you do not have to bundle up your stroller. So you do not have to break that down. You can roll right in. Same with the monorail. So very convenient to be on a Skyliner resort or monorail resort if you will have a stroller. The Skyliner will take you to Epcot as well as Hollywood Studios. What's pretty cool about Caribbean Beach is the Skyliner hub. So you are a direct shot to either of those parks. However, for the other Skyliner resorts, so Pop Century, Art of Animation, and the Riviera Resort, they will all have to get off and transfer to Hollywood Studios or Epcot at Caribbean Beach Resort. Walking so we can get over to the Skyliner a little bit quicker. Whew, that was fast. Okay, so now once you get to your Skyliner station, now this is the main hub. If you wanted to, you could actually have walked the opposite direction that we did and use the Skyliner that's at Riviera Resort. That one you would have to change over here if you plan on going to Hollywood Studios, but you can take that one directly to Epcot. Lavender Dreams matcha was delicious. There is a Joffrey's kiosk right by the Skyliner, so you can grab your morning coffee before you're hitting the parks. You'll always see the schedule listed as you're entering the Skyliner, so you'll know when that Skyliner stops running for the day to make sure you don't miss it if you plan on staying for park closing. And as a note, Disney Transportation typically will keep running 1 hour past park closing. But they're not going to leave you in the parks, but you'll want to make sure to, be aware of that timing. This is the main Skyliner station. To the left, you have Art of Animation and Pop Century's line. To my right, here we go. We've got straight ahead is Hollywood Studios. To the right is going to be Epcot and the Riviera Resort. I hope you enjoyed our tour of the Caribbean Beach Resort. We are now going to be heading over to Hollywood Studios, so our time here is done. But just to kind of recap, things that I personally love about Caribbean Beach Resort is being the Skyliner hub is huge. The landscaping and just overall atmosphere is beautiful. It has an excellent pool surrounded by other beautiful pools, great dining, and that moderate price point is phenomenal. So, really, the only drawbacks are the fact that because it's such a large resort, you can have a lot more walking compared to some of the other Disney World properties. And of course, you will have multiple bus stops versus just one. But honestly, the pros way outweigh the cons, especially at the price point. If you feel that this resort is perfect for you and your family, or maybe you want to review some other options together, I would love to chat about it, find the perfect option for you and your family, and get you all set on your next Disney World trip. Feel free to email me at christy@bestdayeverwithchristy.com or head over to bestdayeverwithchristy.com, fill out my inquiry form, and I can't wait to chat.